either help or possibly even save somebody else's story. Just how somebody saved mine at one point in my life. 7 years ago, I found myself in my room, drinking, an alcoholic, no purpose in life at the age of 22. And I realized I had to change. I realized I couldn't live the same way that I was living for the last couple years of my life. I was partying, I was taking anything I could, anything I could get my hands on to escape. And I didn't even know what I was running from. I didn't even know what I was trying to escape from. But one defining moment after a night of drinking half a bottle of Bombay, which was actually a year and a half of my life. Just gin, I was proud of my collection of bottles. It's crazy, right? And I remember going to bed that night thinking to myself, is this gonna be the rest of my life? Gripping this freaking bottle that had control over me, that gave me no control over my own life. And I remember just crying, and even in that state of being under the influence, being drunk, I made a choice that I was going to do one thing to better my life. Just one thing. And that was learn. What can I do to improve myself? What piece of information can I do to improve myself? The next day I woke up, I worked out, I came home, and I came across this video of why I have no friends. At that time, I had no friends. I lost all the friends that I had. I got cheated on. I got a DUI that cost me $10K that I had to borrow from my parents. I mean, talk about low. I'm sure everybody here can relate in one way or another, hitting their own lows in life, right? So just rock bottom. Just rock bottom. And I came across this video, and little did I know, it was my first introduction to spiritual development, which is really just knowing that there's more than this physical body. There's a spirit, there's an essence that's within you. It's more than this 3D matrix world that we live in that's physical, right? And I went on this freaking learning binge for a year and a half. After a year and a half of drinking and partying and doing nothing, I went another year and a half of just learning and finding myself. Realizing who Rogleio was, right? Who did I want to be? Not what was given to me, how I was defined throughout my childhood, throughout my life, people telling me who I was, people telling me how to think, who to be. I finally got a chance to get to know my essence, the spirit. And after a year and a half, I built a small foundation, just enough to realize my purpose at that time, which was personal training. I was training my friends at the time, and it was obvious. Usually, guys, the purpose, it's so obvious. It's right there in front of you, right? And it keeps coming in and smacking you in the face until you realize, yeah, this is what your spirit is trying to show you. But it took a while. And once I took a couple courses, I realized, yes, I want to help people live healthier lives, help them with their fitness goals. And I made the choice. I did it, right? I decided. I went to a community college. I got a certification there. Not too long after that, I got a personal training diploma. The plan was I'm gonna save, and I'm gonna build my own clientele for a couple years, and then get my own personal training studio. But if we know, life doesn't always go as planned, right? There's the universe, your spirit. There's always something behind the scenes that is taking us not where we want to go, but where we need to go. And after I received my personal training diploma, I actually met a multi-millionaire at the school that I went to in downtown Chicago, and we decided to create a personal training studio together. And it was pretty fast how it happened. But I was waiting for him to finish his, because he started after me. So I was waiting for him to to get his diploma. And in the meanwhile, I wish I could say I had my shit together. I really do. after so long, after dealing with alcoholism, I wish I could say, you know what, I was done with it. But in all reality, it came back. And I ended up falling into the old habits again, but this time, it was 10 times worse. Because now, not only am I drinking, but I'm trying to escape through what's called pre-workouts. It's you take these to go work out to go work out. It's stimulating. It gets you amped up. But for me, it was more of a high. I naturally have an addictive personality. So not only am I addicted now at this time, at the age of now 20, at that point 24, I'm addicted to alcohol again, and I'm addicted to pre-workouts. My diet is just horrible. And here I am getting ready to own my own studio. And honestly, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready, but a couple months before we actually went and got the studio and opened up, I was able to at least function, right? To at least function within that state. And for a year and a half, guys, we built from zero, from the ground up, right? It got to the point where it was 0 clients to 15 clients a week. I was working 12-hour days, making $5,000 a month. It was my dream. I wrote it down on a freaking piece of paper. This was my dream. And here it is, manifested, right? It was all I wanted at that point. 'Cause I wanted to take care of my parents. I wanted to retire them. I wanted to be able to take care of those around. And long story short, me and my business partner, it didn't end too well. We ended up bumping heads. It got to the point where I would walk into the studio, try to speak with him, and he wouldn't even acknowledge me. He would just keep training keep going and training the person that was in front of him, even though he could have easily just looked to the side and acknowledged, right? And it got pretty bad. It got like yelling, screaming at each other, and it got to the point where I woke up one morning after a huge argument, crying, broken, just exhausted. Exhausted from that year and a half, exhausted from drinking, exhausted from taking 1,000 milligrams of caffeine 6 times a week just to freaking function. I was so tired. I woke up that morning shaking and I mean, a grown man in his bed being taken care of by his mother, right? Like, it should have been the opposite way around in my eyes. I should have been, taking care of my mom, or I should have been able to take care of myself. And I had so much anxiety at that time, and I ended up calling my business partner saying, "Hey, I can't go back. It's too much." And I knew there was no more trust, so I decided to leave. That broke off. That was the last time I spoke to him. And I didn't know how much I needed that. To hit rock bottom yet again. To lose hope yet again, so that I can rebuild. So that I can find myself again. So that I can go deeper into where my spirit was trying to take me. After 3 weeks of watching movies, eating chips, drinking again, like I really didn't care. Like, you know what? I'm done. Anybody here ever try so freaking hard to succeed at something and it didn't work out? Like, right? Like, you gave it everything. You gave it your freaking heart and soul, and it feels like it got stripped. It feels like what was the point? And that's where I was at. And I remember watching this movie, Creed. It's a boxing movie. And it's a continuation of all the Rocky movies. And one of the actors in there, I think his name was Jordan something. In one of the scenes, he's going through the come up, he gets the championship title, and then he loses it. He goes through one of the most challenging battles of his life, And he ends up in a hospital, in a wheelchair, having to go through recovery, having to learn how to walk again. And I'll never forget this scene when he's underwater, again, learning how to walk, going through therapy, and he just comes down because he's so angry. He's so frustrated with life. And he's just screaming in pain. And at that point, I saw so much of myself in that character. The feeling so broken, feeling so much pain. And I always think back to that scene because I know many, not only myself, but many people have been at that point in their life. But it takes those points to be able to rebuild, to be able to find a new sense of hope, to build a new model of your life, of your reality, of yourself. And a couple of days later, I woke up and I decided, you know what? I'm going to change my life again. I'm going to go, and I always wanted to be an influencer. I always wanted to do what I'm doing now, but I didn't believe in myself. I doubted every freaking choice that I've made. There was so much unconscious stuff that was holding me back. You know, we all have stuff that's holding us back. But at that point, I needed permission. Maybe some can relate. You need it. It's funny, it's external permission, but it's really it's internal permission because where we're trying to seek it from is just a reflection of us anyway, right? So I remember sending a text to my mentor at that time, and I told him, look, this is my situation. I live with my parents. I'm not successful yet. I don't have $10K a month. I haven't really done much. Should I still share? Should I still go out and share what I've learned? I've accumulated some knowledge over the last couple years, but I felt like an imposter. I literally felt like there was a belief that I was a failure, that I wasn't enough, that I would F everything up, that I couldn't get it right. And because I sent that freaking text or that direct message on Instagram and I asked him, should I still go out and try to share? You know what his response was? Are you kidding me? At first I'm like, what? Like, I didn't know how to take that. Like, are you kidding me? What do you mean? Like, and then a couple seconds pass. He says, go. Go. And that was my own permission that I was seeking to go out and serve, to go out and share what I've been through, because I know it can help other people. And I did. I started attending retreats. I started buying courses, books. I started believing in myself. And at the age of 27, I attended this retreat by my buddy Victor Oda. He changed my life. Another mentor. He really changed my life. I drove 24 hours from Chicago, Illinois to Sedona, Arizona, and just to attend a 4-day retreat. And I was going to go back. I didn't go back. I stayed with just my luggage, my car, and a dream. And I lost all the clients that I had at that point, the same freaking time after the retreat. But I had a dream. I remember making a vlog. I made a vlog telling people, like, I was breaking down in the vlog, like, guys, I don't know how I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna have to sleep in my car, might fast for a couple days, so I save money. I was staying at a motel at that point just to buy some time to think. I just needed to think. And the morning I was supposed to leave, or that I did leave that motel, one of the workers there comes up to me. I just finished my workout, and he gives me a list. So I didn't know Sedona. I didn't know Arizona. He gives me a list of cheap motels to stay at. And I couldn't believe it. Wow, I'm that supported? And I picked one, I had a conversation with my mom. Damn, I love that woman, right? If it wasn't for my mom, I wouldn't have been able to even stay out there. She said, hey, in that conversation, that was one of the most painful. I mean, tell you somebody you freaking love, hey, I'm not coming back. Like, at least not for a while. I'm trying to start a new life over here. Like, you didn't even get a chance to say goodbye. Right? I didn't even get a chance to say goodbye. Like, you know how much I miss my parents, you know how much I wish I would have enjoyed, had more time. And if you got time with your loved ones, like, man, you gotta cherish that. You have to. From seeing somebody every day, seeing my parents every day, I went to seeing them maybe twice a year, right? Maybe if I'm lucky, that conversation was challenging, but my mom said, I'm gonna support you. I'm gonna help you until you get on your feet. And that's the only reason I was able to make the transition, right? Like, that's the love of a mother. There's no love like the love of a mother, my friends. Like, seriously, my dad too. But for a couple months, I ended up just making it up day by day, month by month. Like, I was staying again in motels. I was eating whatever healthy food I could get my hands on, and this addiction came back. I felt alone. I felt so freaking alone. I met some friends at the retreat, but I wasn't going to see them till a couple months, and I went back to drinking. The only thing I knew how to escape, right? Like, what else am I don't want to feel alone. I don't want to feel this. And little did I know that loneliness stemmed from sadness. It stemmed from real, deep-rooted sadness as a kid of like, damn, where were you, Mom? Where were you, Dad? And not that, they were busting their ass. They were busting their ass to provide for me. But as a kid, when you see it through those lenses, you just know that you don't see them there. They're working 13-hour, 15-hour days, trying to, support you, take care of you. Like, you don't see that. But that was a big reason that I was running too. Like, I didn't know how to process that. And I was exploring Arizona. I went to Scottsdale. I went to Phoenix. I went to Sedona. I went to what's it called? A couple other cities, and it was a great. I felt so free, but I felt so alone, right? Like, so free yet so alone. Man. Long story short, guys, like I ended up moving out to Flagstaff, and I was there for 1.5 years. But throughout this whole time, I wish I could say, hey, I was jolly, I was happy. I kept hitting rock bottom. Like, I kept reinventing myself. I kept finding more of myself. And I kept losing myself. And when I was moving from Flagstaff to Austin this past year, I fell for a scam. There was, I lost money that I couldn't afford to lose. There was a point in time where I had to, I was looking for places over here, and I lost $3K in that process. Somebody scammed me for $3,000. I had to pay $2.4K just for the freaking U-Haul, like, to move over here. It broke me. Like, credit card debt up the wazoo. It was everything. And somehow, some way, we made it. We made it here. Like, even with all that, I started doing DoorDash. I'm like, yo, whatever we gotta do, like, I'll bring you your food, bro. Like, whatever we gotta do to stay above, right? To make this dream, to make this transition come true. Whatever it is, it is what it is, Like, just because you don't know doesn't mean there's not gonna be consequences in life. And you grow up real freaking fast going through these rapid transitions. But we moved here, and well, now I'm a coach. Now I'm a speaker, and I'm a firm believer. Like, we all got a story, right? We all got a story. We all got pain. We all got something here. But behind that pain, you know how powerful you guys are. You know how many gifts are behind everything you've been through, guys. Like, bro, like, if you only knew what your spirit knows about you. And you go this whole life trying to figure that out, trying to find that, right? But like, it took all this, and maybe right now it's taking whatever transitions or challenges that you're going through to find your gifts, to find your purpose. Maybe you already found it, you're living it. Like, that's amazing, Like, that's so much respect for them. But it's like you can't stop, man. You can't stop. I'll leave you guys with this. Like, 7 months ago now. Another rock bottom moment, bro. I came home after doing Uber Eats. It was a freaking horrible day. Made like $40. Like, I was furious. Like, why do I gotta do this? Why haven't I made it yet? Why haven't I gotten to where I want to be already? And I come home and I'm crying. I'm talking to my girlfriend. Like, I'm like, yo, I can't do this. I can't do this. Why? What's the point? I've been trying for 3 freaking years, and it hasn't happened. And I'm like, I'm done. You know what? Maybe a 9 to 5 is what's meant for me. And I remember, for whatever reason, my spirit's like, check your TikTok. I'm like, all right, I'll check my TikTok. And I ended up viewing this short little TikTok post by a guy named Eric Thomas. He's a #1 motivational speaker in the world right now, Eric Thomas. And he's on there, and he's sharing how we used to eat out of trash cans. He used to live in abandoned buildings. He was homeless. He had no idea what he would become. And I heard that and I broke down even deeper. This guy's story, right? He said, don't count the cost. Don't count the cost of your dreams. Pay it, whatever it is. Don't count the cost. You're gonna get there. You're gonna find what you're looking for. But you gotta keep walking the path.
X.
You gotta keep walking the path. Not for the immediate reward, but to freaking walk. To walk. And that's when I'm like, you know what? If I have to be broken over and over and over again, then so be it. I don't care. I'm walking. And this is the whole point of this is to, whenever you hear somebody else's story, you reflect about your own.
Yes.
Right? You can't help it. It's human nature. So it's like, you know, I have a question for you guys. Like, you don't have to answer it. You know, it's something to take home. Like, see your story, right? You're hearing my story, but the whole point I even lived is to be here. What's one thing? One thing you can let go of, or what's one thing that you can just do every day that you know is going to improve your life? If you don't like the way you're living, you got to change your life, my friends. It's not going to change itself. Like, bro, I'm telling you, man. You can complain, you can whine, you can make any excuse, but if you do that one thing, it's like I did that one night. Like, you are going to change your life. It's going to have a compounding effect. It's going to stack and stack and stack and stack. Just one thing. And I hope you take that home with you, my friends. Like, and that's going to conclude today's story. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. If you want to find me on Instagram, it's @Rogleio Diaz official. And I have a free audiobook that's my gift to you guys. If there's something that you resonate with, it's called The One Guide. You look in the mirror, you'll see the one guy that I'm talking about. And it's there to help you. I designed it specifically to help you increase the trust within yourself, guide yourself through the most catastrophic moments, and express the most authentic version of yourself. Again, it's my gift to you. It's a free audiobook, and it's there to empower you, my friends. Thank you for listening.